all I could think about in this awesome anime, Samurai Champloo, was Mugen, the badass Mugen and Jean. Because what I liked about this anime, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to start it up, guys. Welcome to my review of Samurai Champloo. And for those who don't know, well, lots of people already know, but I'm going to say it anyway. Samurai Champloo is just like Cowboy Bebop. They're from the same creators, I believe, or same producers. But yeah, it's just like Cowboy Bebop in a way, but yeah, everyone knows that because they're from the same creators. Duh. If I'm wrong, then correct me. What I like about this anime of Samurai Champloo was, to tell you the truth, I could have definitely finished it back then when it first, came out on Funimation channel. I could have definitely finished it back then, but I was the type of dude back then who watched these animes, but we're never on the current episode as expected. So what I'm saying is that Samurai Champloo, first I started on Funimation from episode 1 all the way to 15. Well, actually episode 1 all the way to 7. And then after that, I just canceled myself from watching the series. It was so good and everything, but I had other things to do. Lie. But like I said, after that, a couple days later, I began continuing Samurai Champloo from the beginning and made it from episode 1 all the way to episode 10. And after that, well, the thing that happened after that is I did the same thing. I just canceled the series again. Like I just decided that I canceled the series for myself again. And then later in 2015, I watched Samurai Champloo again, and I'm starting from episode 1 all the way to episode 20, and that's where I'm stopping at. And then after that, I canceled it once again, and then I went to Samurai Champloo in 2016, started it over again, made it on season 2, and then finished the final episode, which was today. And I'm excited. I got the anime out the way. It was pretty cool and everything, and it makes me think I gotta finish Cowboy Bebop because I'm like 2 episodes almost finished with that one. Because Cowboy Bebop looked like it ended a little bit more faster than Samurai Champloo did with 26 episodes. But what I liked about Samurai Champloo was basically the epic battles. One of my favorite episodes of all time in Samurai Champloo was Baseball Blues, because seeing that episode with Mugen, just being the number one badass once again, man. He's throwing that baseball as hard as possible, man. And the hardest thing that I see Mugen do, man, is knock out the American team like that, man. That was even more crazy. But when he was making that final shot, man, Mugen just threw that baseball right there. And then after that, it was like the American dude just throws his he throws the baseball. He throws the bat right at Mugen and hits it in the face. That was that was my favorite episode of all time, Baseball Blues. And like definitely the first episode. What I'm going to be doing is giving you a summary and the review of it. And basically I'll start with the summary. You see, it starts off at the very beginning, and what happens is Fu is just, a lowly woman working in this other place, and this dude starts coming out of nowhere. And that's when Mugen comes and he says, how many dumplings? I believe it's probably 20 dumplings. He says, 20 dumplings, and I'll take that guy out for you. 20 dumplings, deal, or take it or forget it. But what Mugen does, he ends up beating the shit out of that guy, breaking his arms, man, which was totally badass. And then once that happens, there's this other samurai who comes, man, and he's being disrespectful to one of the other dudes, one of the bosses. And that was Jean right there, because he would be the jerk, man. He said, even if that guy's an incompetent piece of shit. That's what I liked about that one. So then what happened is that these two samurai meet up for the first time, and what happens is they start facing against each other, man. Samurai crazy ways, man, you know what I mean? Because this is back during the old samurai age, man, with the whole blood thing and all that stuff, if you know what I mean. During the whole shogun, or whatever you call it. But that's the whole age of samurais, man. Gintama kind of reminds me of that one. What I was saying is that I liked it when they faced off for the first time, but what was the crazy thing is that they were going to be executed after everything that happened. You know what I mean? They could have apologized and avoided being executed, but what happened is Fu was the one who saved them from it, and they made a deal, and she made a deal with them, and he made a deal with her. What happens is, if the coin flips the tails, they have to follow her and find the samurai who smells of sunflowers. If the coin flips the heads, then they obviously get to face each other and forget about doing this whole journey. What happens is that it faces the tails, but in the last episode we hear that it was actually heads, and they did this whole shit for nothing, you know what I mean? But it did lead to some epic battles in Samurai Champloo, man. We had all I can say is that my favorite episode out of all of the Samurai Champloo episodes would have to be Baseball Blues, man, because that one was totally crazy right there, man. I like it, man. And you know what I mean, man? That's what I call the battle cry, man. The way of the samurai, man. Man, favorite opening right there, and then the ending too. But mostly, I feel that the most badasses, the two badasses here, was definitely Mugen and Jean. Fu, okay, she's a bit cute, but you know, not badass like Mugen and Jean. But anyway, this episode of Samurai Champloo was, well, totally amazing when I saw the last episode. But the anime on that was totally even more beyond greatness, man. If you guys were to compare it with Cowboy Bebop, what would you say is better, man? We got Samurai Champloo or Cowboy Bebop, man. And I'm not going to choose because both of them are definitely the same, you could say. Mugen, the same voice actor as Spike, I believe. So yeah, I'm going to have to finish Cowboy Bebop too. I could have given you my review on both of them, actually. But I really like the anime in a sort of way, man. And you know, like seeing it at the end, man, seeing Mugen just take on this guy, man, like completely covered in blood, man. It just reminds me of Zoro in a kind of way. And seeing Jean come back from the brink of death once again to take down this dude who's trying to who just killed Fu's father, Seizo, I believe. And I know the reason why, like everyone knows the reason why Seizo, which is Fu's father, left both her and her mother. It's because, well, I believe that he was probably some famous type of killer or whatever. Well, not killer or any of that stuff. But the thing is that the shogun were following him, and you know, they were trying to kill him. And if Seizo brung his daughter and his wife, then they would have ended up suffering the same fate as he did. And I think he did a good thing, but you know, he died in the end, man. You know, if that guy was a brave man fighting for his family, if you know what I mean, keeping his family out of trouble. It reminded me of Full Metal Alchemist a bit, man. But I'm not gonna bring it up right now. But what I liked about this was an amazing, intense battles, man. And most of all, but I really hated when Fu had to get in the way of Mugen and Jean having to hold their fights down until they find the samurai who smells of sunflower. Well, I gotta say, 26 episodes, man. I tell you, it was amazing. I mean, 2 seasons and 26 episodes, man. Totally loved it, man. So all I gotta say is Samurai Champloo, totally amazing. Totally going on my list of future uploads, man. Alright, so if you guys ever see this review in the future, man, you totally need to watch Samurai Champloo. Give it that more, you know, popular type of stuff, man, if you know what I mean. And you know what I say, man, battle cry, man, in the way of the samurai, But what I liked about this one, everything just gave me complete nostalgia, man. I mean, there were some boring things that was on, some good things that I really loved. Especially the part where Fu had to, like, you know, especially the part where they were eating. Like most of them when they're like going through places, they usually have to eat. But what I really liked about Samurai Champloo was that little eating challenge. I already said Baseball Blue was my favorite episode, but the eating challenge was even more crazy than ever, man. That was just beast, alright? Real beast. I don't know how to put it, but that was my favorite part of the episode, where they had to give up their items in order to eat, and if they lost, those items would be to someone else. But definitely a good episode for Samurai Champloo. The last one was totally amazing. The anime was good and all. But anyway, guys, that is all for today. True Swordsman out. In the name of a samurai.